So I'm still working on building my pantry. So far what we have at home is good, but we need more flavor. And just as I was hoping for a miracle of flavor to appear, there it was, sitting on a discount cart because nobody knows how to cook them. So of course, I had to get a pack. And as soon as I saw this, I knew I would be making my favorite salsa. Getting all the ingredients cost me $5.46, saving me $4.54, bringing my total coin account to... Yeah, we're making it up there. I do have one major problem though that I realized when I got home. I don't have a blender on lock. The blender is about 40 coins, although I dream of buying the 70 coin ninja. But no need to panic, because we know that we don't need no stinking blender, nor mortar and pestle to make the best salsa the world has ever tasted. We can make it cowgirl style, or cowboy, estilo charra, estilo charro, which goes along with what we're gonna try to aim to do, char everything. Because as you saw from last episode, it's the umami factor. I remember that a long time ago I saw a normal dude like me cook an incredible salsa using only one pan. Now, in his explanation he did say to blend it at the end, but from experience, I know that if we follow this plan I've set up before me, I can do the blending with just 2 forks and the rough bottom of my uncured cast iron pan. Sort of like what we do with guacamole. Believe me, I know it might seem too simple, but this is really everything we will need to make delicious Salsa Verde charra style. Just one cast iron pan. Other pans work too, but you might not be able to use your forks on them, so that's why I recommend the iron pan. Tomatillos, an onion, a pair of tongs, which are very optional. You can use the forks to move stuff around. 2 forks, salt, every abuela's secret ingredient, beef bouillon, garlic, cilantro, and water to lift up the umami flavor from the bottom of the pan over and over. That's in theory, of course. Will it work, or am I tripping? Step 1. This salsa is sure to be very messy. Small tip, don't cook with hot oil when close to your nice furniture. I ruined our dining table chairs during our last few videos, so now I gotta sand these and paint them all over again. Ugh. Anyway, like I said before, this salsa will likely get very ankara messy, and I'm not ready to ruin this nice table that was gifted to us. So, as unaesthetic as it may look, I'm protecting the bottom. Now for this to work, I have to char everything, because, as we have learned from experience now, charring our vegetables give Mexican food its umami, known as uy uy uy. So, I'm gonna set my skillet to max and let a little neutral oil get smoky hot. Why neutral oil? Because they won't mess with the final taste of the salsa. That's why the abuelas tell us to use this type of oil and not olive oil or other sort of flavory oil. Plus, it has a higher smoke point, and we need it to get hot. Now, I'm gonna wash my tomatillos and prep a few of the things that I need to char. And this is why the onions were on sale. Whatever. The nice thing is that onions have many layers, so this is no huge worry. Just find the good layer, remove the slimy bad one, and keep the rest. And I'm gonna slice my onions. So now I rinsed and dried these beauties and they're ready for the skillet. Just remember, never mix water with frying oil. Now wait. Nope, hold on a minute. I've been here before. Alright, now I'm ready. So I dropped the tomatillos in and I'm gonna leave them and let them burn. I wanna see char. As that's going in the background, I get my onions ready for liftoff. And my garlic too. Now you can add as much garlic as you wish. Just remember, this isn't toem. It's salsa, so we don't have to add too many. I'm gonna use 3 cloves for this occasion, but you can add more or less. So I dropped the onions in there and I'm gonna let them burn too. And we're trying to get a nice rounded char on everything. That's what's going to intensify the uy 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 flavor of this salsa at the end. We just have to be patient and keep an eye on things so nothing catches fire. I waited till these had some real nice dark spots on them and then removed them so they wouldn't overburn while the onions caught up. In hindsight, I should have put in the onions first and then the tomatillos. Abuelas will always tell us to start with what takes longest and work our way down to the quickest, like garlic, which I put in last, and just for like 2 minutes. Now that my onions have a nice color on them and my skillet is ready to start an apartment fire, I can drop in my special guest gifted to us by JJ, a friend of the channel. Thank you, JJ. Every salsa needs a kick. I will be using habanero because that's what I have and also happens to be my favorite chile so far. But be warned, my experts. You're basically going to be spicing your skillet for a few weeks, and the smoke this produces is pretty much... Yep, pepper gas. You're making pepper gas. Be very careful and open all your windows. Or use a softer pepper like serrano or jalapeno or green, red pepper, whatever you want to use. The hotter your pepper, the tougher it'll be to breathe it in. Once everything has that lovely char on it, it's time for the agua to cook these tomatillos. I will leave this alone for about 10 to 15 minutes and then come back, move everything around so it gets cooked evenly. Tomatillos tell us they're ready to be mashed when they change from this bright green that we saw at the beginning to a light brown, greenish sort of yellow. Also, the skins will burst. Sometimes they even go boom! It's rare, but it does happen sometimes. So as we get this water to a boiling point, now it's a good time to add the secret abuela ingredient, the bouillon. But we gotta make sure we mix it in well, because we have so much stuff in here. And you don't want to leave a big cube of bouillon uncooked. That would be disgusting to bite on. I lost sight of my bouillon, so I just had to keep on moving this for a few minutes. Don't be me. So now that everything's mixed in there nicely and it's boiling, we leave it alone and come back in a few minutes to check on the tomatillos. And we're gonna let that water boil away. So 10 minutes later, give or take, there it is. The skins are bursting. Now if you were making this with a pot on a blender, this tomatillo would be considered overcooked or past what is recommended. But the beauty of this dish is that everything will stay within one single cookware and even caramelize at the bottom. So it doesn't matter if you overcook the tomatillos, it's actually preferable. So still on high boiling heat, let's move these around to get an even cook and keep boiling everything down. I want to see the water get to about a quarter of the skillet and the tomatillos change color evenly, like this. Once we get there, we're ready for mashing everything. Now if you don't have abuela hands, which are able to tolerate high heats, just wait for this to cool down, put it to the side, and then come back. Otherwise, you'll have to walk around looking like...
Hello, Mr. Souvenier, Mr. Jacques Souvenier.
So with 2 forks, we just mash everything around. Think like guacamole. We apply pressure to the bottom of the skillet and using it as our mortar stone. Long term, maybe this isn't the best for our cast iron, but short term, have at it. And in truth, it's up to you at this point to decide how thick you wish to make your salsa. I wanted it thick, so I boiled it down even more. But the beauty of this is that if I boil it down too far, I can just add a tiny bit of water and bring it a little bit back. Abuelas will always advise us to salt towards the end because it gives greater damage control, especially with a guy like me. And so, I will follow that advice this time. We add salt to taste and there we have it. This is my favorite salsa and favorite way to make a salsa, by far. Only tried it once before making this video, but I gotta tell you, it is my new favorite way to make salsa. The cool thing is that now that we know this technique for making salsas, we can use it pretty much with any other salsa that exists. Almost. The guacamole one would burn so bad, so just almost every salsa. Here's the kicker though. Now that I have this, I know what I'm gonna make with it. Remember we bought a pork loin for less than $5 a while ago and then froze half of it? Well, I'm gonna use it to make green pork. And then, what I'll make with that. This was fun. And I'm extremely happy to have found this technique works because I will actually be using it when I go camping. Try it. Seriously, even if you have to buy canned tomatillos like I usually do, it still works. Next episode, more pork tenderloin for a jaw-dropping price. Plus, we upgrade to maseca. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. And we're gonna make pork and bean gorditas. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. I think this is how we treat it. El Olive Tree, let me know if I'm doing this wrong, please. Got no idea how to do this.